Yeah, so if you're gonna make pozole, you need approximately, you want to give yourself 4 hours at the least minimum amount. The more you cook the meat, slower and the longer you cook the meat, the better. So yeah, you want to give yourself 4 hours. We started this at 4 o'clock, and the beef or the pork was submerged at 4:20. We're gonna leave it in until 7:30, and then we're gonna take it out and start cutting up the meat.
But you could cook the pork for 4 hours and it would just make it all the more delicious.
That's right. The longer you cook it, the better. But I'm not made of time, so whatever. Look, it kind of looks like a smiley face. Fun times.
Oh yeah.
Back in a flash. What's wrong, Harley?
I love onions.
Seriously, we're chopping up onions so we could fry them up for the soup later.
So like, do you like it like this?
Yes, that looks perfect. And as we're here, I'm just gonna go over to the blender and mention that inside the blender is chunks of onion, tomato that we blanched.
And we got the.
We got some oregano and jalapenos. Jalapenos, and at the bottom of the blender, as you can see, there's about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. You don't need to chop it up or anything because it's going to be chopped up by the blender. There's my shit tea. And what else? So yeah, we're going to blend this all up with a bit of broth when our broth is ready. And these guajillo peppers are going to be soaked in the broth for 20 minutes to rehydrate them. The guajillos that we've taken out the seeds and things.
They've got such an awesome color.
And
then that becomes the sauce.
That's right. It's delicious.
Gives the sauce such a great
There's
color.
a couple seeds in there to make it a bit spicy. Alright, I think that's what we need to talk about in a second.
Okay, so now we're going to hydrate the guajillo peppers.
You put them in a container, and then you're going to put hot broth over them to rehydrate them. And you're going to want to have it rehydrated for, you want it soaking in the hot water for about 20 minutes.
It's a magical process.
Yeah. And then after this, you're going to throw this in the blender because they're going to be rehydrated, but you want to puree them in the broth. And the broth needs to also be cooled down so it doesn't break the blender or shatter the glass.
Ah. That hadn't occurred to me that that's why you let it sit for that long.
Yeah, there's various reasons of the above. So that's good. Good stuff. There we go. Ta-da. All submerged.
That doesn't mean it doesn't smell
No, it smells good.
Smells good every time.
Alright, so are we filming?
We are.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're taking out the pork chunks out of the broth water, and we're just putting it in here because what we're going to do is chop it up into small pieces. We're going to take off all the skin, fat, and bone and cut it into small pieces. And it's pretty tender at this point, so it's going to like fall apart just as you touch it and stuff. So
skin, fat, and bone did their job for today.
Oh yeah.
Now we can relieve them.
Relieve them of their duty and put them in the green bin. So we got some little squirrelies guys here. They're trying to get away. Whoa. Woo. And if you're a 5-year-old watching this, don't do this without a parent. You might get burned. Don't want to do that.
5-year-olds don't have the internet.
Oh, right. 5-year-olds also couldn't reach over this pot.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're Tony the Tiger. Okay. For now.
We're running out of time.
Oh God.
We're running out of time.
So what we're going to do now is cut this up into pieces. Okay, so
Amy left the room. She's getting a bit queasy about the
skin and the fat.
This intimate pork workings is.
You know what I need though? I need another utensil so I'm not touching it with my fingers because it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was a real chef, you gotta do food safe and all. So.
Well, when you first showed me how to make this, you cooled it off with cold water before handling it, and then
rinse it off?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you can do that, or you can just like be a
See, I can make the pozole. I've made it a couple times now. I was really nervous making it for my family because my mom and dad and my cousin Dan and his girlfriend Miriam, they're like all excellent cooks. But we were up at a cottage in July and I made pozole and I think it went over pretty well.
Everyone was talking about it when I saw them. They're like, Harley made pozole.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
But I learned from Rebecca and she's the true master.
I wouldn't say that, but I like it. So we just took out bones, skin, and fat. Now we what we can do is just basically pull it apart because it's really tender. Check it out. It's just
that's exciting.
pulling apart. So I think this is going to be a good pozole actually.
Yes.
Stringy like this, and
I'm
it's
confident.
tender. And you can even see the browning still from the original frying up stage. And that's flavor. Oh, somebody's here.
Somebody else is here.
Let me get the door.